welcome back to another video, guys. Blessings. Welcome to everybody who will see my face for the first time. And if you're a resident member of the Andersons family, thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for the love. Thank you guys for the tremendous amount of, just blessings that you've been sending our way. If you guys are new here, take a second to hit the subscribe button, smash a like on this video, but most importantly, let your thoughts be known in the comment section. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, guys. I am going to be responding to 5 comments that I've gotten over the past week. Sometimes I don't always get to respond to all the comments as detailed as I would love to. So what I've been trying to do now, or what I'm going to be trying to do now, is to just pick 5 comments where persons ask questions that probably other persons would want to know the answers to. I'm going to pick just like 5 comments every now and again and do a video about it, just to share my thoughts, my ideas, and just my overall answer to that question. Bear in mind, guys, I'm not an immigration consultant, lawyer, or affiliate. Everything that you hear on this channel, consider it roadside knowledge. In terms of anybody can go and research it, or if you've been through the process yourself, you might have a similar experience as myself, so you give a similar answer as myself. But this is not coming from an immigration lawyer, an immigration consultant, and it's not intended to be used as legal advice. So I'm gonna want nobody call IRCC and say me did tell you, right? It's all about my experience and tremendous amount of research that I did. Now let's get into it. I want to start first by answering this question right here. Okay, the first one, I'll pop it on the screen right here. It says, "Hey Dems, I wonder, as a certified plumber for over 10 years in Jamaica, which route I could take?" Now this is a question that I find very interesting because a lot of persons want to know the answers to this question. Being a plumber means that you have a skill, being a plumber means that you have a trade. Now, similarly to you who's a plumber, probably an electrician might want to know the answer to this question, probably a tiler, probably anybody in construction. Now, my answer to that question would be explore the Federal Express Entry pathway, because underneath that pathway you can be selected underneath what is called a federal or foreign trade worker stream. Now, if you do any form of skill trade, especially because you said that you are certified, it means that if you have enough points, a particular province will be able to see your profile and select you from the pool being a certified trade worker. I would suggest that you start with that. Now, in order for you to get into the pool, there are certain things that you have to do. Now, again, migrating to Canada is not an easy journey. A lot of persons think that it's just a snap of a finger, and as soon as they realize that it requires some amount of work, they become discouraged. But if migrating to Canada is a goal, what you need to do is to go and do your English test, which in Jamaica it would be the IELTS, because the CELPIP is not available in Jamaica. Get your certification verified by what is called WES, WES for acronym. It really certifies you, it compares your certification to Canadian standard. So once you have done those 2 things, you can go ahead and create an express entry profile, putting in your years of service over 10 years, put in your certification, mean that you're qualified, and also put in your English test score, and all of those things will probably get you enough points for you to be selected from the pool. That's the first pathway I would use, or that's the first thing I would do if I was in your position. The second thing I would do if I was in your position is I'd be looking at the different provinces to see what stream there is for skilled trade persons. And there's a lot of streams for skilled trade persons in many provinces, especially what we call the rural provinces, which is Alberta, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia somewhat. So look into those provinces. What you can do is to just go on the different provincial websites and put in pathways. And then you see the different pathways, and then you just look for the one that you can fit in. But typically speaking, with provincial nomination pathways, it usually requires you having a job offer. So bear in mind that the first one that I suggest, the express entry, there is no job offer that's required. But the second one, provincial nomination, more than likely you need to find a job offer. If that's the case, you just employ, just as you'd employ to an employer in Jamaica, you'd employ for an employer and in Canada through the Canadian Job Bank. Indeed, or just pick up the phone and call him. That would be my suggestion, or my answer to that question. The other question is, do you help persons personally with these programs at a cost? I have someone who is interested. Now, as I begin this video by saying that, listen, I'm not an immigration consultant, lawyer, and affiliate, so technically it's illegal for me to charge somebody to help them apply for these kind of things because I can't provide that service. I'm not a consultant. But what I can help with is to share my knowledge as much as possible through these YouTube videos, the different steps, as unfiltered as I can. So my advice to you is, if you have a family member or a friend who is interested in coming to Canada, just share our content with them. Just share everything from the Andersons with them, because in truth and in fact, even if you guys book a one-on-one with me, or if you guys send me an email, there's nothing really additional I can say to you guys that I haven't said in a video already. I don't have this hidden book of knowledge that I don't share with you guys. Everything that I know, I try my best as possible to put it out there so you guys can have this information as well. So there's nothing much I can do other than doing these videos, unfortunately. So my advice is, share these videos with your friend or family member, and hopefully it's enough to help them and guide them along their process. Alright, the other question is, good day. What's the best pathway for a practical nurse in Jamaica who wants to work in Alberta? Now, similarly to the first comment that I answered in terms of the express entry pathway, etc., I'm going to suggest provincial nomination in your case as well. Now, Alberta Health Services have a program where they allow rural communities to employ nurses in specific fields like LPN, RNs, etc. I don't know all the terms. They allow like rural communities to employ persons from different countries. But if you go on the Alberta Health Services website, you are able to click on that particular option to see like get employed in Alberta, and it actually shows you the steps and how you can apply and what requirements and qualifications you need in order to be eligible for this particular pathway or stream. I did a video on this some time ago, or probably it was alive, it was months ago, I don't quite remember right now. But just go on the Alberta Health Services website and then see how you can apply to these rural communities in Alberta. And there's many Jamaicans who I have met who have been successful in doing this. It might take some time, but it took one person 8 months, the other person's like 6 months, but I know quite a few Jamaicans who have benefited from that. So again, patience is a game. It's not an overnight thing. You're not going to apply today and then everything work out tomorrow. Just be patient. Go on the Alberta Health Services website, but also look at the provincial nomination streams. Healthcare is an in-demand field right now, and many provinces have different pathways through their province that you can migrate. But you specifically want to come to Alberta. I did a video the other day where I spoke about the dedicated healthcare pathway, but that is pretty much for persons who are already in Canada. So just look on different provinces if possible. Otherwise, look on the Alberta Health Services website. That would be my suggestion and my answer to that comment. Now, the other day I did a video where I shared my tips on how to get a tier 0 or tier 1 job before graduating from school. So I guess this comment is in regards to that video. But how would you get a tier 0 or tier 1 job before getting your PGWP? Good question, and a lot of persons might want to know the answer. But I'm just gonna really repeat what I've said in that video. You don't wait until you graduate school to start building connections. You start building connections as soon as you get off the plane. You start going into rooms, you start shaking hands, you start networking as soon as you land off the plane. Now what you're doing now is because you know that by the time you are close to finish school, you're gonna need that job offer within those specific fields. So you're building those relationships way before. So when it's time for you to need it, you have a list of people who you can call and say, hey, are you guys hiring? This is what I'm looking for. You'd have already built a relationship. The other thing you can do before getting your PGWP as a student, get into the industry that you want to get into before. Work part-time, work even for free if you have to. Do it as an internship. You're a student. People always like to give people experience. Say, hey, listen, let me come in on the weekends. Let me come in after work. Let me help out with whatever you guys have going on. I just want to get that experience. Get your foot through the door. And then once you get your foot through the door, you start building up yourself within that organization. So as soon as you left school, you have all the relationships you need. Start thinking ahead. Be proactive. Be intentional. And that is how you get a tier 1 or tier 0 job before getting your PGWP. And the last question I want to answer, guys, is a comment that was made underneath my last or one of my most recent cost of living video. And this comment reads, what caused cost of living to increase so high pretty much over the period of time? And my answer to that, in my own opinion, I'm not an economist by any stretch of the imagination. I'd like to say that, listen, the world went through a global pandemic. The world went through a global pandemic, and that has affected many countries, including Canada. A lot of persons forget that the world was actually shut down for like probably a year or 2 years. Canada is no different, and I think that has had a significant impact on the Canadian economy and society in general, and that has caused cost of living to increase. Also, I would like to say that I can somewhat say that the influx of immigrants had also an impact on cost of living. Now, use my city for example, Grand Prairie. There's a lot of immigrants who have come to Grand Prairie over the past 2 to 3 years. However, it's the first I'm seeing an apartment building going up in 5 years or going 6 years now that I'm in Grand Prairie. So it simply means that the city has invited a lot, well, probably not the city, but people have been flocking Grand Prairie over the past couple of years, but the city is not expanding to accommodate the amount of persons. So it simply means that demand has outweighed supplied. And anybody who does any form of economic in school, micro, macro, it doesn't matter, or even statistics, it shows you that when demand outweighs supply, it equals scarcity, which equals price increase. However, what needs to happen is supply needs to outweigh demand so that price can decrease. And that is exactly what happened, not only in Grand Prairie, but in all of Canada. I think what happened is demand has outweighed supply, which means that more people are coming than what is being built in terms of houses. And just in general, there's more people within the economy and there's not enough jobs for everybody. And all of these things have a negative impact when you couple that with the effects of COVID-19. And all of those things is why cost of living, I think, is really so high in Canada. A lot of persons are also building houses, but there's not a lot of low-income houses being built, which means that developers are not really focusing on low-income rental units, but they're building houses and they're selling it for an exuberant amount of money. And all of these things have a significant impact on driving prices up, right? Another thing is, a person might have a basement, or a person might have an extra room in their house, or probably have a condo or an apartment, or whatever the case may be. What used to happen is that person used to rent out those properties long term to get in some source of income. But what these persons are doing now, they are doing it as Airbnb. They're doing it as short-term rental. So it simply means that persons can't even find affordable rentals anymore because, again, demand outweighs supply. Because everybody's entering into the real estate market, and entered into the real estate market, they're not looking at low income or long-term rentals. They're looking at Airbnbs, investment properties, all of these terms. They're building houses and they're selling it at exuberant prices. All of those things are reasons why cost of living has increased, in my own uninformed, not being an economist expert at all, but just in my opinion, right? Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope I answered some of those questions and give some clarity to you guys who asked these questions. I'm going to try to do this a lot more. So if you guys have a question, drop it down in the comment section and I'll try my best to pick some and I'll respond to it this way, because sometimes some questions need detailed answers. And if you guys have anything you'd like to share, drop it down right down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. We're 10 subscribers away from 15,300. So if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. Take your friend's phone, your spouse, your children, whoever, and subscribe as well to the Andersons family. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in the next video.